Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Test of WrestleZone.com. I'm joined by PJ Hawx and Luke Hawx, also known collectively as Hawx Aerie of the NWA. Guys, how you doing today?
We're well, I think. I'm well. He's well.
I'm
So
all
we're
right.
both well. Oh, we're all right. So we're like, we're,
He's
good.
well.
We're good.
He's
We're good.
he's well. I'm all right.
But you mix the two and you get good. We're good.
All in all, it doesn't sound bad. Glad to hear it. So that said, we are not too far removed here. Looking forward to NWA 74. Big pay-per-view here for the NWA, the anniversary show. You will both be on action, in action. Obviously, it's a two-night show. You'll be in action in different ways. So, in a general sense, kind of we're about 2 weeks away from the show here. How are you guys feeling about the show? It is like one of the NWA's bigger events here every year. So, being in action, Luke, you'll be in action individually, and you'll also be teaming up in the Battle Royale for the USA belts. But collectively, or if you want to take one by one, how you feel about the show at this point?
I'm feeling pretty damn good. Really hyped up about it because I can actually focus on it. I got a little time off right now between shooting. So lately, the last couple of years, especially the last 2 years, even with COVID, schedule was pretty freaking crazy. We were doing a lot of filming, and I was working a lot of long, hard days and a lot of days. Like I went a real long period without a physical day off. So going into it this time is a little, and I also got hurt was it the last tapings I got hurt at, or the tapings before?
Crockett Cup, I believe. Crockett
Cup. Yeah, I don't remember. So the Crockett Cup, I had that concussion, and it just, when you're going so hard on your body and it's nonstop, it's nice to get a little break. So like I said, I got a little break between filming right now. So I've been picking up my workouts in the gym and just really kind of focusing on wrestling in particular right now. So this is good. I know I got some filming stuff coming up, but like right now is the perfect time for me to focus on NWA, to focus on Wildcat, and just get the ball rolling and be the best we can be.
PJ, you're going to be teaming with your dad here in the NWA USA Tag Title Battle Royale and NWA 74. That's a very big opportunity. I mean, if you guys win that, you're going to be a champion. This young stage in your career. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's very exciting. So it's cool because we got to wrestle in the Chase last year, but again, it was separate. I wrestled Colby Carino, and you were in for the NWA, the national title battle royal, I believe. So this time we get to wrestle in the Chase together, which is a very special building. It's got a lot of history there, so that'll be cool. And also, like you said, we have a little bit more of a relaxing time this like leading up to it. I mean, when we flew in, Hurricane Ida actually was hitting Louisiana. Wow. So we were really stressed out the entire time because we had the tapings, but I mean, a lot of stuff got knocked down. Our wrestling school, we lost the school. Our homes, my mom, my brother were out of power for weeks.
It was a lot going on.
So it's nice to be able to kind of go into this one, God forbid anything, another hurricane hit, but just go into this one a little more relaxed and just focus. We get to go have fun, but also come to work, and that's the best part when you get to mix work with play a little bit. And like I said, it's a big opportunity. I mean, NWA is bringing back the U.S. tag titles, and for us to be able to, if we win it, or I should say maybe win, who knows, right? But positive, you got to be positive, right? But I mean, it's a big opportunity, and it'd be great to tag with my dad and win some belts. I mean, that's what we love to do. We love to tag wrestle with each other, and it's just a lot of fun.
They got a lot of great competitors in NWA, and one thing that's really ramping up is the tag team division. You see a lot of old faces, but you also see a lot of new faces coming in. So some we're familiar with, some we're not so familiar with. So it's up to us to do our homework and come in there and guns blazing, do what we do. Hawx Aerie.
To narrow in on that, I mean, NWA USA tag titles, definitely some prestigious set of goals here. You've got the Midnight Express, you've got the Varsity Club, you've got Steiner Brothers, a real all-star lineup here, former champion. So if you guys do, as we're hoping, win that Battle Royale at NWA 74, what would it mean to you to kind of add your names to that impressive lineup? Again, those are some real all-time legends there on that list.
I think for me, personally, I've been putting a little thought into this actually for a minute now, and it's not just with those tag team titles. I think with NWA titles in general, I feel like it's just another step further into our career of solidifying how good we are as a tag team and being the first original father-son full-time tag team and carrying that legacy over. Because when we started that, obviously, within about a year of doing that, several others started popping up and kind of doing the same thing. And why wouldn't it, right? Because it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. So I do commend it, although at first I was a little like, oh man, like we started this thing and we're gonna, run hard with it. And then I started seeing others start to do it. And not that I got upset about it. I just wanted it to be something special between him and I. Then I had to think back, it's still special between him and I, right? Just because somebody else is now doing it doesn't mean it takes away the specialty that we have involved in it. So, and I've also been criticized a lot as a tag team as of, oh man, we don't, I hear a lot that we move as a cohesive unit. You guys don't really come across as father and son. You come off as a really good tag team. And I'm going, well, that's kind of the point, because we are a really good tag team, right? Like we shouldn't have to dumb it down because we are father and son. We both have strong work ethics. Perry's a multi-time state champion amateur wrestler that we talk about. His amateur skills are highly credentialed and he works really hard at it still. We've seen the physical changes in me over the years and how long I've been around, the things I've done throughout my career. So we go back to adding tag titles like the NWA titles, man, like that just solidifies how good we are as a tag team and how far we come and how far we can push it. I obviously want to be the best and be the top in the business, and so does he. And we have a long way to go. I'm only 41 years old. I feel like I haven't hit my prime yet, and I'm still stretching to get better and better. He's 23 years old, and to be able just to do it together is so meaningful, like I was talking about earlier, and it's special. So we just want to come in, do the best we can, and not only just be a father-son tag team, but we want to be a great tag team. We want to be a tag team where you go, those guys are a tag team. They move as one, not just we're father and son. You know what I mean? So that's where not just experience versus, I don't want to say inexperience, because he's not inexperienced. He's been wrestling over 5 years now. And he's had a ton of tremendous matches, and we keep getting better and better. But that's part of the game, So that's how I feel on it. I know I'm rambling. It's one of those things where it really touches me, and it's one of those things that I really take to heart and take a lot of pride in.
I had to agree on that. I mean, for me, I think everything comes with due time, but at the same time, this would be a nice notch to add to our family legacy. NWA is all about tradition. This could be the start of a tradition for us. Winning the tag titles again just helps write our name into one of the, best wrestling families of all time, hopefully eventually. So
it's easy to forget, Peter, that you have been wrestling for 5 years. We're seeing this kind of breakout of sorts in the NWA, but having already been 5 years into your career here, your dad just brought up your amateur sports background. We've seen that a lot in the wrestling world with any number of performers using that. Brock Lesnar, what we're going to see it with Gable Steve's, and any number of others with that background. How's that kind of helped you transition into wrestling or into professional wrestling, and just how's that kind of benefited you as you kind of continued here in the NWA and beyond?
I think it definitely toughened up my body. Had I not done amateur wrestling prior, I don't think I'd be as good as I am today. It taught me how to be disciplined, how to be motivated, and also how to take a lick and, keep on pushing. You can't just quit when things get tough. You got to just keep going. And that's exactly what it taught me. And honestly, a lot of my ring work, I feel like became a lot more smoother because is more smoothly because of that. Chaining just makes more sense to me. I'm a lot more fluid, so I can just move in positions, and I'm not going to be uncomfortable because I don't know what happens next. No, it's very natural for you. Yes, it's just like if somebody's trying to shoot a double leg on me, I'm not just going to stand there and let them take me down. I'm going to sprawl, and if they grab my leg and move me in another position, maybe I'll sit to my butt and try to scoot behind them this way. And it's what we do. We have to fight in situations. I think it's the same thing in pro wrestling. I can adapt very easily. I think that's the thing that's helped me. One of the things that helped me the most, and also just my strength and my strength just in general. Honestly, I mean, we did a lot of body weight exercises and buddy carries and stuff like that, and having to pick up guys. I mean, when I was in high school, my freshman year I was 132 pounds. My senior year I was 152, and now I'm about 180. But I mean, when I was in high school, I was picking up guys, 170 and up, because I'd like to pick up those guys so I get used to picking them up. And honestly, it helps with my wrestling because instead of not having the strength to actually do it, I know how to use my hips. I know how to use my legs. I know how to use everything instead of just trying to strain. Sometimes you see guys and they can't really do it. Well,
you have the core strength.
Right.
You've worked on your core strength, your grip strength.
Right.
Like he can toss a, 220, 240 pound guy around like it's nothing because of all those years of amateur wrestling. And,
but had I not done that, though, I think it would be a lot different. It would be a lot more difficult for me. So again, anybody that is looking to become a professional wrestler, I highly recommend doing that because it'll only make you tougher and more prepared for the sport.
Yeah, we see it a lot, and it seems like a very good kind of transition. It's one form of wrestling into another, and maybe being able to kind of lean on that. Now, for both of you, a question. We were talking earlier about how especially PJ, you individually, but also as a team now. You're in this kind of breakout where we're kind of seeing more of you. You're starting to really gain some prominence here. Now you're going to be in this battle royale NWA 74. One kind of potential moment of a breakout could have been, it's always easy to play what could have been, but at Crockett Cup, you were in the Crockett Cup, and Luke, you went down with a concussion, as we talked about it a little bit earlier. Now, PJ, you guys won your match, but your dad went down, so you had to wrestle the next night. So kind of a twofold question for both of you. Luke, what did that feel like for you? Kind of winning, but then not being able to compete. And then for PJ, what did it feel like trying to get it done? And obviously just
he had to wrestle right after that.
Yeah.
He had to go to the next round. So for me, it was very difficult because of my work ethic. I knew that I got shaken up. I had a feeling that I had a concussion. I did throw up a little bit, and it wasn't a bad one, but it was bad enough to just, what they made the call that it wasn't right for me to perform. And I'm glad they did that because I wanted to perform still. And I was very adamant about it. And, I don't remember who I was out of it. So I don't remember who was actually the one who made the call, but I can tell you, our referee, Scott came over, and he was the first one to be like, hey, he needs medical attention. Something's wrong with him. So he noticed it right away. And I was just trying to do what we do and tough it out and move along. But I knew I got shaken up, obviously, I knew it because I was out of it and I was dazed. But when you do it for so long and you're in this sport and you're so competitive and you have something to prove, like I still do, I wanted to be back in there, and to watch him do it. It's hard because of course I support him, but then you feel like you're letting him down too, because, we were on it, and it was a good moment for us to get a lot of recognition and do really well. And then obviously something out of our control happened, and it was a setback. So you think you're elevating and things all of a sudden change. So that's out of your control. It was rough. So I definitely think, although this is a battle royal, I do think that I come in with a chip on my shoulder and a lot to prove. And I want to come in and kick some ass, so to speak. And I feel like he feels the same way.
Yep. I know you said you were going to ask a separate question to me.
No, just kind of the twofold. Luke got hurt,
okay,
and so he went down, and you had to kind of try and make the best of it and compete, like Luke was saying, you had to go by yourself.
Right. I agree. The worst part for me, it's honestly that he just got hurt, like you said, because I was really looking forward to it. And again, even though I enjoy singles competition, I love tagging with him. Again, I think while we're both, he's still in his prime, he's still going and hard and stuff like that. And, I'm still learning from him, but I know I'm ready to go. I think we should do that for as long as possible. But so we were really excited for that time because we're like, okay, this is a chance for, again, Crockett Cup, historic for tag team wrestling. And it's like, all right, we get to show everybody why we are so good. And then he gets hurt. And then it's not even about that anymore. It's about, damn, now my dad's hurt. Now he can't compete. And it's like, I have to kind of put that aside and finish doing my job. But also, I'm worried about my dad. So it's hard to separate the two because obviously, I don't want to leave him, but at the same time too, I need to go do what I had to do. So I did it. I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? You have to just shut that part of your brain off and just go do it. And I did, even though I lost to Bestie and Mecha Wolf, I held my own for a while, and it's just, I did what I had to do, but it would have been nice to have gotten a match together. But again, like my dad said, setbacks happen.
We talked about that, and not after, but we talked about prior, when we were looking at the brackets. Obviously Bestie and Mecha Wolf had a target on them, and they were somebody that we also respect. That we have a long history with the 666s being Bestie and his dad, and then I've known Mecha Wolf a long time as well. So I got a lot of respect for those guys' careers and how hard they work, and they look phenomenal. They're just really hard workers. So I think us going into that match, we were looking forward into really showing out and just blowing it away.
To my knowledge, or if we never had a singles match with them either, or not singles, sorry, a straight on tag match. It was was always a 3-man or something else, but we never had a just straight up tag match. So, I mean, again, we wrestled the end before and we got past him. So again, we were just really looking forward to showing how good we were, and things happen.
And it got taken away. But, you know, there'll be more opportunities. We're coming back. We're healthier. We're stronger. We got this title. You know, we got this title shot with the NWA USA tag team titles, and we're really looking forward to that. And look, man, we're coming in, like I said earlier, we're coming in guns blazing. I'm sorry, I can't speak. We're laser focused. You know, we're super sharp right now. We've been training really hard. We have some downtime in our personal lives to just focus on what we got ahead of us as far as wrestling goes and NWA goes. And that's where we've been. We're grinding. We're coming in hot, and we're coming to take what's ours.
Maybe asking the obvious here, but you're teaming together, father and son. And Luke, you mentioned earlier that we've been seeing that a little more lately in a number of promotions here. But at least for you guys, I guess, one, what's your favorite part about teaming together? I mean, as you said earlier, it must be a very special thing. And two, Luke, as you were talking about earlier, having seen other teams do it, you want to try and make it your own thing and really kind of, you know, do it your own way. Is there, like, how do you kind of feel that you're doing that? Like, how do you guys kind of plan to stand out in that? Because it's easy to be a father-son tag team. Like, how do you kind of separate that and maybe go beyond that label?
Well, that's easy. You know, that's an easy question to answer in several parts. And I'll go ahead and I'll touch on the first part of how do we plan to stand out? You know, that's our work ethic. There's a lot of good, hard workers, and some of these guys that are coming up. I mean, look at the Mortons, right? Look at Kerry and Ricky. You know, Kerry's a young talent that's up and coming, and he's doing a really good job. And he's night and day compared to what he was a couple of years ago. But that's the name of the game. As we get older and we grow, we improve. But Kerry doesn't have the amateur skills that he has. There's no other wrestler on the scene right now that has the amateur skills that he possesses. So that's one way we have an advantage. We're different. None of the other dads besides Billy Gunn look like this, you know, or move like this. You know, Ricky moves great for his age. You know, Ricky, but let's not turn a blind eye to Ricky's age.
Right.
Ricky goes hard, but Ricky's also 20 years older than me. And I don't say that with disrespect, you know. I say I'm 41 years old. I say it with respect to see this man in the ring still going and working as hard as he does. But let's be honest here. You put Ricky Morton and Luke Hawx in a one-on-one matchup, who you got? I'm not saying Ricky can't beat me. I'm not saying Ricky doesn't have more knowledge than me. He's definitely been around longer than me. He has, you know, as far as knowledge in wrestling goes, Ricky Morton is light years ahead of me. But as far as heart, strength, and performance go, you're going to have to freaking kill me. And I feel it's the same way with him. So we're coming out. We're not just trying to be a father-son tag team. We are trying to be one of the greatest tag teams. That's where my focus is. And I love being alongside him doing it because he's my son. He's my flesh and blood. I've raised him. I've grown up with him. I've personally grown up with him. I've grown up in my age. And, you know, I was a kid when I had him. So I've matured. I've improved. And to be able to do it with one of the people that I love the most in life, like my other son, you cannot put in words how special that is.
PJ, anything to add from your perspective, being the son teaming with the father?
No, I mean, again, I always say it's a true pleasure and a blessing that I get to be able to do this with my dad. I can remember my earliest wrestling memories were 3, and I'd always go to the matches, and, you know, I'd just be there with him. And I always remember, you know, if he lost, he'd come pick me up over the railing, and I'd be crying, and I'd just be like, you know, like, what happened? Like you said, he was a young kid just trying to make it. And again, it always just stuck to me. I always just loved it. I always just loved watching him. And again, he was my hero, and he still is. He's my inspiration. He works hard. He helps push me, and I try to do the same thing for him. So again, it's just a true blessing to be able to do it with him. You know, we get to work together. We get to travel together. I mean, who can say that they get to do that with their parents? You know, not a lot of people. So again, I look at it that way. It's a blessing. But, you know, at the same time, we do have something to prove. We got to work hard, and
we got a lot to prove.
We got
because we don't get that. We don't get that internet rub, you know, that little bit of internet rub, because I wasn't an ex-WWE guy, or, you know, and one thing that also affects us is we're in the South. So we don't get a lot of coverage here. Like nobody picks up what's going on here. Even though Wildcat's booming and we're selling out shows and we're packing houses and we got some phenomenal talent, it's not like the internet's really writing home about us because they haven't picked yet. But what's going on with us is we have something different. We have the film credentials. You know, Perry's, you know, in every episode of Heels, both seasons. He's crushing it. You know, he's going from project to project. I just finished several other projects. Heel season 2 is dropping soon. You know, I just did a TV show for Netflix called Obliterated. I just worked on another show called Sacrifice on BET this week. So like I'm jumping from project to project here and there, and I'm also having a little downtime. But like I said, that's where we have those advantages. Like we're not just in a wrestling bubble, we're in an entertainment bubble, which is a lot bigger than wrestling. So we just got to figure out how to get our wrestling fans, well, not our wrestling fans, more wrestling fans to pay attention to what Hawx Aerie is doing. Not, you know, because we have the entertainment side of things. We have a bigger circle than most have, which is amazing. But we're really trying to just hammer it away in wrestling as well, improve our stake in wrestling.
You mentioned it. I was going to bring up anyway, so a perfect segue to venture a little outside the wrestling side of things here. Luke, you've been working on Heels. PJ, you just started doing yourself recently. So for both of you, what has that experience been like? I mean, Heels, ironically, you mentioned it's an entertainment bubble, but it is a wrestling show, so it's a nice crossover of the two. So what have you both enjoyed about that experience? What has that been like up to this point?
Heels, it's a blast. As much. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. It's hard work, you know, it's long hours and it's grueling, but again, it's a lot of fun. The cast they're all really hard workers and stuff. Whenever we come in for wrestling training, they all bust their asses to get in the ring and learn their moves and stuff like that. But again, I mean, that's just the other thing. I get to work with my dad and we get to do a show about wrestling, you know, and what better does that get, you know? But you know, it's a lot of fun. Season 2 is a lot of fun. I think we got a lot more action to look forward to. God. I mean, yeah. Again, I know there's no hard release date yet, but again, whenever they announce it, it's just people better get ready because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Heel season 2, so this season, just to give people an idea, we did double the amount of work in season 1 in half the time. So it basically, you know, and like a lot of productions do, it took my life away for the time being while I was on it, which is great. But it's one of those things where you really have to focus everything you have into that project, right? And that's what makes it so special. You have a lot of people who are very passionate about what they do in different departments, and they take their time. And I'm talking from A to Z. You know, these people don't see their families. They leave their families for 6-8 months at a time, and it's just work. Then you get a little break. Then you go to the next thing, work. So that's what it was with Heels. So like, as far as professional wrestling goes, Heels and entertainment is a burden because I have to step back from, you know, going 100% in the wrestling world. But as far as the outcome of what we do and how special and how unique and how much of a great opportunity it is, there's none like it because it's what everybody aspires to do. Everybody I talk to in wrestling always wants to get into acting and stunt work, and they want to get in movies and television shows, and they're always asking me how we can do that. And fortunately, with a show like Heels, although I take a step back from the pro wrestling world a little bit, I actually don't, because like this season alone, I was able to hire over 30 plus professional wrestlers and give them jobs and put them in television and, you know what I mean? And like give them SAG cards and make them, you know, really nice amounts of money. And some of them are hurting. Some are indie guys. Some of them are good wrestlers, you know, like wrestlers with big names that make good money already. But some of them have regular jobs and they're still trying to make their way on the indies to build up that big name where they do this full time. So when we have a position to where we can help those that are working really hard, that is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity because it's not just about me. It's how many others can I help in the process.
Absolutely. And speaking of that crossover, I have to ask about it. Luke, you also played Steve Austin on Young Rock. And like, I got to say, okay, now you've got the look down. So like perfect casting there. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was good. You know, it was like, honestly, like that's the best way to put it. Because if I would have gone into a really personal conversation with you about this, I would tell you that when I shot Young Rock, it was one of the best times in my life because it was different. It wasn't just the filming and the family atmosphere that's at the filming, but it took me to Australia for 2 months. And within that 2 months, my life changed drastically because I'm used to go 24/7 and be pulled in a million directions. There, I was 17 hours ahead of everything going on in the United States. So when I was waking up, people had already been up for half a day. When my midday, people were going to bed. So I had a lot of time to myself, and for once in my life to focus on myself, which I wasn't used to because I'm so used to doing so much for so many and really neglecting myself. So when I shot Young Rock, it was a massive experience, right? It was to be on NBC and to be, with Dwayne and those guys and play such an iconic character as Steve Austin. But most importantly of all, I got to find myself, something I didn't know before, because all I know was work, provide. I never knew downtime. So that was the first time in my life where I had downtime and I had to disassociate with everything and actually figure out how to calm down, how to relax. And it was good for me mentally. So it was one of the best experiences I ever had mentally, and I'm very thankful for it.
I'm also hoping there'll be a good experience here for you at NWA 74. Obviously, we'll be in action here again. Any parting words ahead of NWA 74? Encourage your fans to tune in. Any last any final words ahead of the show?
I got some. I'll let you kick it off. Do you got anything?
Yeah. Again, we're just really excited. Grateful to be doing this, and can't wait to go win some gold. That's really it for me.
Look, last time I was at the Chase, like I said, it was a rough time. Perry said it earlier, it was a rough time. We were dealing with the hurricane. We were just coming in from Alaska. That was a rough travel day, and we had so much on our minds. We couldn't focus 100% on what we needed to. This time, I told you earlier, I'm laser focused. We're coming to 74. We're kicking ass. We're taking names. We're proving why we are one of the best tag teams out today. Not the best. I won't say that. I'll say we are one of the best, though. And we're going to prove that we are one of the best. And we're not only that, we're father and son. We're unique. We're hard workers. Check us out, wildcatsports.com. Wildcat Sports on all social media. Cat with a K, K-A-T. Luke Hawx 504.
PJ_HAWX, PJ_Hawx.
All the NWA social media. We're ready. We're coming. If you're bad, we're worse.
With that, perfect closing. NWA 74, August 27th, 28th at the Chase. It'll be on Fight TV, so make sure to tune in for a very star-studded card. PJ and Luke, I wish you the very best at NWA 74 and beyond, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.